did it come to this? Liliana, the heretical healer, the defiant necromancer, the dread horde general. She is known by many names and is one of the most iconic planeswalkers in Magic the Gathering. She is best known in the lore for nearly sacrificing herself to defy Nicol Bolas, an elder dragon, during the War of the Spark. But how did Liliana, once a seemingly psychopathic, manipulative, and outright sadistic necromancer, transform into an anti-hero and remain a member of the heroic faction known as the Gatewatch to this day? Well, today, we're going to dive into the origins of the one and only Liliana Vess. Hello, it's me, it's CGB, and welcome to the second episode of Planeswalker Points. Liliana was born on the famous plane of Dominaria. As the daughter of the ruler of Dominaria, she studied the intricacies of healing magic under Lady Anna. Unfortunately for Liliana, her brother, Josu, caught a mysterious disease that brought him to the brink of death. Desperate for cures, Liliana went hunting for the only medicine that could save him, the Essus root. However, the local skin witches had already burnt all of the Essus roots as a ritual to raise their own zombie servants. Just when all hope was lost, a mysterious figure known as the Raven Man appeared in front of Liliana, reassuring her, "You already know what you have to do." This reminded Liliana of all those times when she secretly studied the dark arts behind Lady Anna's back. Desperate and out of options, Liliana unleashed her black magic to defeat the Skin Witches, turning their life forces into fuel that burned the Essus root into a glowing liquid. Overconfident in her powers, Liliana recklessly ignored Lady Anna's warning and force-fed Josu her newly brewed medicine. And ladies and gentlemen, Josu was cured, and they lived happily ever after. Well, not exactly. Turns out, the enhanced Essus root turned Josu into a state worse than death. He slowly turned into a monstrous horror of the void and started attacking his sister. Traumatized by the series of events, Liliana's spark ignited, and she planeswalked for the first time to Innistrad. From there, she would learn all the secrets of necromancies and death magic from vampires and liches alike, and even had a duel with Soran Markov, the master of Innistrad. After decades of traveling and wreaking havoc on other planes, a major event known as the Mending occurred, where all planeswalkers suddenly lost a majority of their powers due to the multiversal reset. Feeling old, fragile, and on the edge of death, Liliana begged for help from the mighty elder dragon called Nicol Bolas. Bolas brokered a deal between Liliana and 4 demons, Kothafed, Grizzlebrand, Razaketh, and Belzenlock. Binding Liliana to the service of the 4 demons, they agreed to grant Liliana her youth and a fraction of her old powers back. Now, what could possibly go wrong with a deal with the devil? Liliana planeswalked to Ravnica, where she worked as a bounty hunter for the Infinite Consortium, a mercenary gang led by Tezzeret, a science maniac. After some time, Liliana received an assignment to hunt down a mind mage codenamed the Cloak Boy, who defected from the gang. It turns out this boy was none other than the powerful blue mage Jace Beleren. Liliana soon discovered that they were pretty alike and befriended him, and even went as far as developing affection for Jace and seducing him to a series of affairs. However, Liliana's motives soon became clear. This was all a manipulation to persuade Jace to go up against Tezzeret, as Bolas agreed to break the demonic pact if Liliana helped him gain control of the Infinite Consortium. In the end, although a part of Liliana actually loved Jace, she ultimately betrayed him and planeswalked away. Not long after, one of the demonic masters, Kothafed, ordered Liliana to retrieve the Chain Veil, a relic of immense power. After she obtained the relic, however, not only did she use it to curse her stalker, Garruk Wildspeaker, she even dared to use it on Kothafed himself. Liliana was still bound to the demon. His destruction caused her constant pain around her tattoos. Realizing she now has what she needs to overthrow her demon masters, Liliana is determined to hunt down and destroy every last one of them, no matter what it takes. Her quest for vengeance led her to Innistrad once again, where the demon Grizzlebrand was last seen. It turns out he is imprisoned in the Hell Vault, a prison created by Soren to control supernatural beings. Unable to unlock it herself, Liliana used a spell to force Thalia's hand. Unlock the Hell Vault, or the spell would kill all of her soldiers. Thalia eventually chose the life of her people, causing the demons and angels again to be freed. Without hesitation, Liliana destroyed Griselbrand with the help of the Chain Veil. Upon the death of Griselbrand, the pain from Liliana's tattoos escalated to the point where she started hearing whispers from the veil. Determined to resolve this once and for all, Liliana planeswalked to the Onake Temple to seek answers. An Onake spirit confronted Liliana and told her that the spirits inside the veil were planning to use Liliana as a vessel to consume her. Outraged and refusing to trade one master for another, Liliana attempted to abandon the veil to the temple. But to her surprise, her own hands refused to let the veil go. She even attempted to raise a zombie to return the veil for her, and the zombie refused to obey her command. Liliana ran out of options and reluctantly kept the veil. To overthrow the remaining two demons, Liliana planeswalked to Ravnica to meet up with Jace, asking for his help. Disappointed by her previous manipulations, Jace turned Liliana down, and instead he went with Gideon to help fight the Eldrazi invasion on Zendikar. Humiliated, Liliana returned to her mansion in Innistrad to re-strategize. Not long after, Emrakul, an Eldrazi titan, arrived at Innistrad with an invading army. They were ready to decimate the entire plane. Although the Vampire Masters Soren and Olivia organized a defensive force along with the newly formed Gatewatch, they were no match for the titanic space horrors and were soon overwhelmed. When all hope seemed lost, Liliana's affection for Jace took hold of her. For the first time in her life, Liliana actually stepped up for her friends. Ignoring the whispers from the Veil to abandon Jace, instead she used all her powers from the Veil to defeat Emrakul, imprisoning it in Innistrad's moon. Liliana's bravery on the battlefield finally earned the forgiveness of Jace, who decided to grant her a position in the Gatewatch. Accepting her feelings for Jace, Liliana swore an enthusiastic oath. "I will keep watch." Happy now? Although some members were still suspicious of her motives, this would at long last pave the way for Liliana to go against Nicol Bolas, playing an important role in defeating the Elder Dragon. Although Liliana seems like a straightforward character, there are subtleties to her arc. She is not the classic evil villain you would normally encounter with a black mana necromancer. Despite her confidence, there are layers of vulnerability that add depth to her persona. Her thirst for power seems to stem from the trauma of being powerless to save her brother. As seen during the Eldrazi invasion, she let go of her personal gains and chose love instead, showing that she is not all black-hearted after all. This constant struggle between power and love will be a reoccurring theme for Liliana, making her one of the most intriguing planeswalkers in the game. Let me know in the comments what you think of Liliana, and I will see you in the next one. You're cool.